Let's talk about M16 A1 parts kit versus H&R retro guns. Okay. First off, YouTube, I'm not trying to sell, promote, or advertise for any company. I'm just showing some products that I personally have. Okay, and that's about it. This is not a promotional video. And also, guys, if you would and if you like the content, please subscribe, hit the like button, leave a comment, and if you could, become a member. Alright, so in our discussions about mill surplus parts kits, I forgot to leave out the one that is extremely popular and a lot of people kind of lean towards that one, is the M16 A1 rifle. Now, there were a few places that offered parts kits. One still has them in stock that I found for 9.5 C notes, and there's another very popular place that will have them, and I believe they are sold out. They also have some other variations of Colt rifles that come in a parts kit, some of them with live barrels, and they are unusual and quite expensive. So the thing about the US parts kits, or the M16A1 parts kits, is a lot of these guns have seen 40-50 years of use. Okay, and I mean, some of the stuff these guys get, these guns have been pretty well used. Now, if you wish to make a rifle that shows 40-50 years of use, which there's nothing wrong with that, and there are people that do that, do have battle-worn rifles as an example, then that would be the way to go. But, you know, looking at the parts kits and everything, it's personal choice. My choice, I would rather go with the H&R line of retro guns, have a brand new gun, new stuff, even though it's not 100% like this one here. And this is the M16 A1. You guys have been following the channels, knew this was a gun that I wanted. The only thing is, with a price tag of like 1.2, 1.3K, it's not exactly like I'm going to order a couple dozen of them, alright, you know. So I kind of did it piecemeal. I got the upper part, okay, and then dragging my feet, but then with the company there, I don't know if things don't sell or move and are not popular, they may stop making them, or when they're out of stock, they'll be out of stock indefinitely or whatever. I have noticed that the lower receivers that are in black, I don't see any of them. They're all mostly, the ones they have available are all mostly in this gray, which matches the gray on these guns, whatever this finish is. And so I said, you know what, I best get my butt in gear and get one of these lowers so I can complete this build. I've had this upper for months and months now. This one of the thing, because they are pricey and it's not that easy to absorb the cost, you know, when you're building a collection nowadays. Also, while I was there and said, let me kill two birds with one stone, I also got a GX5857, which is the XM607 carbine, the one with the weird folding stock, which that item alone is an 800.5 unit thing when they're in stock, when they're available. Okay, this is a real neat gun, so I'm looking into that. I may do that if I can move some things around and get some capital. I may go with that. And that one there too, I may even go and go through the process of getting that build registered as a SBR. It would be worth it, because those things, if you see on their website the two different parts, the lower end is over a K and the upper end is about 700 units. So you're looking, all in all, close to 1.8K for that. So that ain't nothing to sneeze at, but it's probably going to be the coolest gun out of my AR-15 collection. So that's what we're working on. And, you know, like I said, the M16 A1 parts kits I think are way, way overpriced, but people buy them. They pay just about a K for Russian-made AK-47 parts kit, which years ago, and yeah, I know everyone says years ago, when they brought them in with live barrels, they were like a C-note, okay, for them Romanian ones. Granted, they were not Russian firearms, Russian-made firearms, but for somebody like me, it's a little hard to swallow. Also, with the line from PSA there, or H&R, they come out with the version, and I can't remember the numbers, they come out with the version with the bipod and the heavy barrel, and I've seen several people have just bought the uppers and placed them on a lower of some sort, and we're firing them. I think one person with a FTR, which was pretty cool to watch that thing in action. And they've also made the dissipator model. I can't remember the exact number. But they also did the dissipator with the properly milled down, where they didn't use a forward assist, but like milled the receiver or something. That's like 1.2K. But something like that I may just, I don't know. I just hope they stay in stock long enough for me to try to concoct a way to raise funds to get one, and then I just buy one outright. Also, another thing, this particular upper does have a 1 in 12 barrel. All of these guns, like you've seen on the review at the SHOT Show, they're making these retro guns now with 1 in 7 twist rate barrels. I guess the way it works with any of these things is if it doesn't sell, these are specialty items, and they come at a premium, and if they don't sell, I guess the company just, when they run out, will stop either making or ordering them. And a lot of people complain, you know, a lot of these people, again, they go, oh, I want to get an M16 A1, and they get one with a 1 in 12 twist, and then they find that all this heavy 62, 77 grain ammo they have doesn't work. And they get all bent out of shape and upset. You know, so I guess people buy the versions, because I think you can probably, I don't know if you can get this version with a 1 in 7 twist. Maybe you could. They used to make different variations of them, the uppers and everything. I guess they found people are going more with the 1 in 7 twist, so you may find it hard once they sell out of the firearms they have to get the 1 in 12 twist, which is correct for this period gun. And by the way, there is an individual I know that went to Vietnam, I think 65 or 66, that was issued one of these XM rifles. Okay, way, way back, when the government purchased a bunch of them for testing and sent them to the country there. And the versions like this interest me more, because you're not going to find, I doubt very much you'll see a parts kit for one of these. These guns are, you know, a small lot. They were sent there. I guess they were used and then refurbished once the government adopted the M16 A1. They refurbished these guns, replaced parts or whatever, and then reissued them. You know, so they did rework these weapons. I doubt very much you'll find outside of a museum or something, or as an example, one of these as a parts kit coming in from somewhere. So that's one way of looking at it. But that's it for now, guys. That's what I got on the table. I'm going to be working on little by little. And as for any other parts kits, I don't know. I was tempted to get some sub guns and that, but then to put them together and do that, and then some of them are pretty difficult to extend the barrels out to 18 inches to make carbines with them and that. But I don't know. Parts kits and retro guns are still popular and people want them. Alright guys, thanks for watching and stay tuned.